All right, so I had a lot of you guys ask me, how do I feel about ceramic coatings and when should they be applied to the paint? Yes, you do not want to apply a ceramic coating on fresh paint. You want to give it at least 60 days for that paint to cure, because as that paint is curing, it is releasing solvents. And if you were to coat that paint with a ceramic coating, you're going to trap those solvents in there and you're going to have a bad outcome. So in this video, we are going to be applying a ceramic. It is going to be to a brand new vehicle. So the sooner you get that ceramic coating on that vehicle, the better, because with a ceramic coating, whatever that surface looks like is what that ceramic coating is going to magnify. So you want to get it on there as soon as possible, especially when you buy a brand new vehicle, or you're going to have to do all that legwork to polish that paint back up to its beautiful luster before you put that product on. Otherwise, you're going to just have all those scratches in it. So we've got a brand new X5 BMW. So let's show you the vehicle that we're going to be working on today. All right, so the product we're going to be using in this video is the Chemical Guys Carbon Force. This is the same product that we tried out over a year ago on the S10, which is a single stage paint job, and it still has that beautiful luster that it had the day that we applied this product. And if any of you guys know about a single stage paint job, it will oxidize over time. So I thought to myself, let's put a good ceramic on it so that we can preserve that paint the best that we can. So you see that truck looks as good as the day that we applied that coating without oxidizing anymore. So if you have a single stage paint job, this is gonna really come in handy for that. There's not many of them out there anymore, but it's done a beautiful job on that S10. So when you're doing a ceramic coating, it's gonna be based off of the paint that you have. This one is gonna be a lot easier because it is fresh and brand new. If you have an older paint job, you're gonna have to start out by compounding that paint and getting it as smooth as possible, and then stepping it down to your other compounds and polishes to give you that beautiful luster before you apply your coating. With this one here, we are going to be running over it with a light polish just to clean it and give it the best luster that it has before we apply our coating. If you guys are starting out with a dirty vehicle, make sure that you clean it thoroughly, get off any of the waxes, use a good heavy detergent soap. That way you get all that wax off and you get a bond of the product, because the better that ceramic coat sticks to the paint, the longer it's gonna last and the better durability you're gonna have. So this vehicle was fully washed before it was brought into the garage. One thing we are gonna do before we start to polish the vehicle is clean it off with a surface prep. This is a product that will remove waxes, oils, and any polishing residue and fillers. That way you're gonna be able to strip that vehicle if there is wax on it, polish it up, give it the luster it needs, and then we will have a clean slate. So we hit the vehicle with our surface prep and our new microfiber towel. You want to make sure that you thoroughly clean it. If you have an older vehicle, after you wash that vehicle, you are going to want to hit it with some sort of a clay bar or the synthetic version. That is going to remove any contaminants that you may have picked out on the road, and even take off some light overspray, which is going to alleviate a lot of the polishing process. When you have an older vehicle that is scratched up, you are going to want to go to more of an aggressive type compound. With this one here, we are going to start out with a polish because we have a new vehicle. So the older the vehicle, the more damaged the paint, the harder it is going to be for you to get it polished up before you apply that ceramic, because the better the paint looks, the better the ceramic is going to magnify that paint. So get it the best you can before you apply your Carbon Force. So we're going to be using a fine polishing pad. You want to make sure you get yourself a new one because you're refining up the paint and you don't want to have any leftover contaminants from any other job. So start out with a new fresh pad. And this one is going to be used on our Milwaukee Random Orbital Polisher. We do not need a rotary because a rotary is more aggressive. If you have an older job, you might want to start out with that. But this one being a newer vehicle, we are going to start out with something more or less aggressive, which is the Random Orbital. All right, we've got it fully polished up and we did the whole vehicle. That way we do not have to worry about getting any more dust on the vehicle. So when I'm doing my ceramic, I do break it up panel by panel, but I make sure that I get all the polishing done first, because if you were to start ceramicing one side and then going over and polishing another side, you could get some of that polished dust onto that ceramic while it's drying. And this product needs a minimum of 12 hours to cure before it is fully cured and is able to go out in the elements. I like to do it for 24. That way you know you're gonna have the best protection on it. So let's go ahead, get it cleaned off, and then we will start to apply the carbon force. So we've got the vehicle all ready to apply the ceramic coating. This here kit from Chemical Guys came with 2 applicator pads and then the ceramic coating. And we had a lot of product left over after we did the S10. So I think you could get multiple vehicles out of the kit from Chemical Guys. You're just gonna have to get yourself some more applicator pads. When we are applying this coating, they want you to do it panel by panel, because you have to give it 30 to 60 seconds flash time based off of your conditions before you start to polish out the panel based off of its rainbow effect. So once you see it start to do its rainbow effect, that's when they want you to buff it and clean off the product to its beautiful finish that it's gonna leave. So let's go ahead and apply that now. All right, so we are gonna put the product right on to the applicator pad, wet it up, and then they want you to work it straight back and forth on the panel. Run it in straight lines. Try to get it just on the panel that you're working. That way you can break it up into sections and not have any problems with it. So just go ahead, give it a nice coat, back and forth, and then they're gonna want you to run it up and down before you let it flash off. And then we're gonna look to see about that rainbow effect that it's supposed to do before we polish it off. So just go ahead, apply the product, and then we're gonna go ahead and do it the opposite way like they recommend. So up and down and then side to side. And that is gonna ensure that you have a nice coating on it. That way you're double checking it by running it back and forth and up and down to get an even coat. We are in an air-conditioned garage, so it might be a little longer than if you guys are outside. So just go ahead and get it on and then give it its time to flash, and you'll know when you see that rainbow effect starting to happen on the panel. So it's starting to do that rainbow effect. It's gonna be hard for you guys to see it in the video. We're gonna go ahead now and start to remove it and get this fender polished back up. And it's just as simple as that. It's very easy to take off. The last time we did it, it worked out great, and it's gonna be working out great again on this vehicle. So we started here, we're gonna move our way down. We'll go across the hood, down that side, and we'll show you guys the job all finished up. All right, we did the full vehicle and we even did the glass on it. So we're gonna let this dry overnight and we're gonna come back in the morning and check it out. So you can see that the outcome of the vehicle looks outstanding, but the best thing that I like about the ceramic coatings is it's easier to wash your vehicle once they are applied because it acts as a barrier between the clear coat and the dirt, and things tend to not stick as easy to the paint job. So when you're washing your car, you're gonna get through it a lot faster because of the hydrophobic properties in that ceramic. It allows things to just not stick. And when you're washing your car, you're not gonna have as much of the problem with the water spots because it tends to let those water droplets just run right off. So I'll show you guys now how great that water just comes right off of that vehicle now once you have ceramic on it. So you see how nice that water beads up once you get that ceramic on the vehicle. We didn't even have to touch it with a drying towel, and that's why a lot of the high-end detail guys like it, because they don't like to touch their vehicle with any type of a rag, because it does tend to want to leave scratches in your paint. That's one thing that I do like about the ceramic coating is it acts as a protection between the normal clear coat and anything that lands on there, and you're going to be able to keep your vehicle a lot cleaner while you're maintaining it. And I recommend it highly for your daily driver because that's the one that's out on the road the most, and you're gonna be cleaning it and trying to keep it in its best condition you can. So depending on the ceramic you're getting, they are gonna give you an amount of time that is supposed to last on the vehicle, but that is gonna change due to the conditions of how you drive your car and how many times you wash it. So I hope you guys like this video, and we'll see you guys on the next one.